Bleach Rebirth of Souls has the potential to change the reputation of anime arena fighters. Let's discuss why. Before we get into it, I want to discuss the mechanics. I will add the disclaimer that some of the information I provided will be from context clues. I could be wrong about what I saw. If you'd like to check out the gameplay overview trailer for yourself, I'll have it linked in the description. I'm also kind of recording this while I'm sick, so if you would, like the video, because I'd appreciate it. Alright, so first off we have the health gauge, but in game terms it's referred to as the reishi gauge. This bar feeds into a bigger pool of health known as the Konpaku gauge. When you lower the reishi gauge to 0, certain bars from the Konpaku gauge will break off. In your bottom left or right corner you'll have the spiritual pressure gauge. Once you have enough saved up, you'll be able to release a spiritual pressure move that you can probably use as a combo opener or a combo ender. From the looks of it, there are 2 different moves to choose from per character. In the same corner you'll find the reverse gauge. Apparently you can use this gauge while either attacking or defending in an attempt to turn the tide of battle. And finally, if you look in your upper corner next to your reishi gauge, you'll find your fighting spirit gauge. I'm assuming this fills over time as you fight, which allows you to enter an awakened state, which you can probably also use to turn the tide of battle. So I'm not trying to overhype this, right? But I do think Bleach Rebirth of Souls does have the potential to be different. I talked to y'all about the mechanics. Now I'm gonna get into my reasoning as to why I said that at the beginning of the video. If you pay attention to the end of the gameplay overview trailer, right? Ichigo's Konpaku bar goes down to like what, 2 stocks or whatever, and he hits Bankai state. I'm wondering if it's a situation because they didn't really they kind of talked about the fighting spirit gauge bar, but they ain't talk about him going into Bankai. I'm assuming since they added that in there, this is the way the system basically works. You fight, you start off with 9 bars each, or your Konpaku gauge, right? You get down to 2 or 3 bars, and then you have the opportunity to go into like Bankai state or whatever. And the reason why I see that as impactful is because low-key, if they do the system like that, we could possibly get a more compact, more meaningful roster. Instead of having Ichigo 1 through 5, we could probably just have like 2 or 3 Ichigos, depending on how far they decide to go in the series. I don't think they're going that far. I actually haven't done the research to see how far they're going yet either. But we could possibly get a pretty decent roster if the Awakening system is set up like that. The stages, I don't know if it was the way the gameplay was set up or if it was just the stage in general, but the stage felt smaller to me for some reason. Or it at least felt like the game was encouraging you to fight instead of just run around in circles trying to hit the dude with like a long range attack or whatever you want to do type shit, right? Point I'm trying to make is the stages or the gameplay made it look like, the stage was more compact. Like it was you and this other person and you had the box. Like you was not going to be able to run from this shit. Plus, if you look at the reverse gauge, there was like a flash step, which I'm assuming might be a fast gap closer. And from what it looks like, it doesn't seem to be a way for you to like charge your spiritual pressure gauge. Like it looks like you have to fight to get that gauge to come up, at least for now. At least I didn't see anybody charging their gauge in the gameplay trailer, so I don't know if it's actually like that. Another thing is, this game could potentially be a 1v1. Like this could be a 1 character versus 1 character type of game instead of like one of those team oriented games. And I'm not gonna say for sure that it is. I'm just gonna say it could be, because that was a gameplay trailer, and for all we know, that was from the story mode. You know what? That definitely was from the story mode. Now that I think about it, that was definitely a story mode trailer explaining the gameplay elements of the game. So it could possibly be a team game. But what I'm thinking is, if it is a team game, I'm at least hoping it's a situation where, for one, this is a given, but the Konpaku gauge and the reishi gauge is shared, which would make sense because, they've done that in other games before, right? It's not one of those things where, I don't know how to describe it. I just hope the team system works properly. I don't really know what's the best way to say it really, but I just hope that if this is a team game system, that it works properly and it's not one of those situations where we get to a point where everybody's using like the same character or anything like that for their team or like their team attack or whatever. But I guess that's like a balancing thing. I'm just yapping. And the last point I got is, it's not Storm. So, that's not me saying Storm is bad. That's me saying it looks like they're at least trying to do something different instead of following the same gameplay element like they normally do with Storm. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, we're going to have different button combos and things of that nature and blah, blah, blah. We're probably going to have a one button combo, most likely. We might get a few different ways we can vary, a few different various combos depending on like where we point the analog stick or whatever, kind of like Storm. But they're at least trying, you know, to do it a different way instead of having it set up the exact same way as Storm. So I can appreciate that. And I think that's pretty much all for my yapping. I'm hoping this game definitely does change the outlook a little bit. I'm not expecting anything crazy like cross-platform or anything like that. I'm not really expecting them to do that. It would be cool if they did, but I don't think we've really had that happen to many anime fighters as of late. We've had it happen to some, and I'm pretty sure Arxis was in most of those, but you know, I'm not expecting anything crazy. I would like decent servers though. I would definitely like to have some decent servers for this Bleach game, if possible. But yeah, that's basically what I think so far. I guess it's not really too much because we don't really have too much information, but let me know how y'all feeling. I will see y'all next video.